Hashtag written in the stars, hashtag SJC Basketball 2021, and it is the final game of the day. This time it's the under-19 quarterfinals. SOWETO Academy taking on JEPPE High School in what should be a battle or a war of attrition, or maybe it's going to be a war of success because these teams are going to go hard at it. It's been a long day of basketball. It's been tiring. The kids have been in the sun, the coaches have been in the sun, administrators have been in the sun, but it does not matter because all of that is going to be put to bed. We have a look quickly at SOWETO Academy's team. Matate and Ndlovu Khadebe, the wonderful Nkosinati Masina. Motahong Sekale is going to be key as well. Mene and Moyo in that backcourt. Shongwe, Makau, Makai, and then Nkabinde. Tabang Ndlovu at number 24 is going to be a key piece for that SOWETO Academy team. I'm Quentin Denason, and I'm of course not going to break this down alone. I have the wonderful Numpumulelo Ramatsocha with me. Let's have a look at JEPPE's lineup. Peacock, Kearney, Nahara, Van der Walt, Pillay, Modise, Kaba, Rosha, Guni, Ngwabara, Chuma, and Rametse make up a JEPPE High School lineup that is filled with height and certainly filled with physique, and I think it's going to be physical basketball from their side. I don't know how you slow down the transition game of SOWETO basketball in Pumi.
They're definitely going to have trouble slowing it down, Q. But SOWETO is going to have a little bit of trouble with the aggression that JEPPE brings to this one. It should be a thriller. Nobody is trying to go home yet.
No one is, absolutely. I always like these physical team versus athletic team battles because there are ways to neutralize it strategically. We just have to see if the coaching staff dig deep into their treasury. Sekale blocked as he tries to make his way to them, and that's the big-bodied Blade Kearney for JEPPE.
JEPPE aggressive from the start, even on a defensive possession.
Ball moves around, it's JEPPE. Kearney. Shot goes up, and the three ball falls. Ngwabara for JEPPE.
Good start here for JEPPE in this game.
Good ball movement, the zone shifting, and Ngwabara fires from long range. Nothing but net for him. Masina straight at the body of the big. Wow, that's a fantastic score.
Masina's a tough kid, Q.
I think the physicality matchup is going to be something that they will enjoy. Kearney trying to show his range. Wow! That was, the first one was a little bit, that was nothing but net. Kearney, nice touch from the outside. Sets his feet, fires it, high arcing shot. Kisses, tingles the twine.
Looks like SOWETO's going to have to put a little bit more pressure on the outside on those shooters, Q.
Sekale for SOWETO, chased down by Ndlovu. Now Sekale going at the bigs, and because he was not up straight, the referees called that foul on Rametse. Arms up straight, Mr. Ramasoa. It's a fundamental principle of basketball.
You got to stay disciplined, Q. Keep your arms up straight, stay on the ground.
Sekale converts the first. Three play six. We have 6 minutes. It's been just at a nice open start. We've seen some really good shooting. JEPPE.
Good action from the very beginning of this one.
Rametse, read by Ndlovu. Transition is where they are great, and that's Ndlovu with the left hand. Game now tied. Charge for JEPPE. Rosha. Looking at his options in the zone. Rosha is going to pull the long shot this time. No joy for the JEPPE Gunners. Ndlovu outside. SOWETO will try their luck from range. A charge for JEPPE in the open court, and the layup does not. Really should have made that. Chuma all alone.
Nobody around him.
No defense, and it's Masina straight at the body of Rametse, who picks up his second foul.
SOWETO Academy has done a great job to neutralize the 2 early 3-pointers from JEPPE.
Not only have they neutralized that, they've started to pick up fouls on the JEPPE bigs, and that is going to cause a little bit of a problem for them, especially the way that they've started out. Timeout called on the floor. We're tied at 6.
line.
Well, you can certainly see that that is all about what JEPPE are doing from the outside, and they're trying to create the adjustments where the movements happen, where they can contest the shots. We'll see if something came from all of that. I do like to see a centralized coach setting the strategy in those kind of timeouts, but the different coaching environments work for different clubs, and the academy guys do spend a lot of time together.
And they do know each other quite well, Q, and have a rapport that they've built.
Yes, they do. And out of the timeout, we're tied at 6-4, 50 left in the first. Free throw line for Masina. And this is the first. We saw how valuable free throws are in the under 15 game. It's just as valuable out here. Masina, 1 of 2.
Free throws and rebounding, Q.
Free
Two
throws.
things you've got to get right if you're going to win games.
Rasha into the zone. He dishes it off, but that is some fantastic defense. Once again, Mene at the body of the JEPPE defender, but call for the travel on the rebound. Mafate just can't hold on.
A little frustration there from the SOWETO Academy side.
We'll see how much legs they have. We were both talking about the previous quarterfinal and how deep they go in this quarter. Kearney, that one, no good. Slows it down.
I think if SOWETO Academy is going to take advantage, though, Q, they're going to have to get running.
Masina can't find the options he's looking for. It's Chuma for JEPPE. Russia. Kearney. Now Russia shoots the 3. Chased down by Chuma, but it is Sikale who comes away with the basketball. And then there's a foul. We have a look quickly at the block by Chuma inside the paint. And just off camera, we've had a battle underneath. Sikale gets the last touch. And still just a 1-point lead for Soweto Academy.
They had a little trouble finishing in their earlier game, Q. We're hoping that it will be better for them around the rim in this one.
A lot more pressure on the finishers in this game, a lot less chances for them. Mafate is picked up by Mene.
There's that transition we were talking about. Soweto Academy getting out and running on that one.
It's surprising because the rebounds should be controlled by JEPPE. They certainly have more size. But Soweto Academy have done a great job on the defensive rebound, and it allows them to get out in transition just a little bit. Masina into the zone. Kearney gives a big whistle for the foul. That might be his second as well.
You know well, Q, that rebounding really is more about technique than about height. If you're disciplined enough to sit down and box out, you're more likely to get the rebound than someone trying to jump.
Spoken like a true coach. Kosanadi. Masina at the free throw line once again. This time gets 1 of 2 to extend the lead just to a slightly more comfortable 2 points for Soweto Academy. Chuma out.
I think down the stretch we're definitely going to see the JEPPE foul trouble giving them some issues.
I think you may be right, Guabara, for JEPPE feeds Russia. Our first look at Pillay. Russia, Guabara. In there to Chuma, goes hard and then gets called for the travel. One thing Soweto are doing well is they are trapping the post every time the feed happens. Sikale, wild shot attempt, and Pillay looked like he got that last touch.
They definitely are doing a great job of doubling down on those big bodies of JEPPE.
Ball thrown away by both teams. Masina goes right at them. Fearless he is, and skillful. 2-possession lead now. Ndlovu touch. Bafate misses it. It's a Ndlovu. Masina into the body of Pillay. And can't believe that he missed it, but they keep coming in waves.
You can see the frustration on his face at missing that layup.
Well, 10 plays 6, and there's a timeout call this time. It's the JEPPE boys who really want to talk it over. It is exciting basketball. 1 minute left.
They have a small lead of 4 points, right? They have a tiny lead of 4 points. Let's not let them get more than that, please. All of us can match their energy. Not creative the way they play our game, but with their energy and intensity. Right? Yes, sir. All passionate, right? Yeah. All want to win, right?
You feel the passion of the boys playing and how much this quarterfinal really means to the most important participants in this tournament, the actual players, and school pride at play as well, and academy pride. Don't want the game to get too far away, and quite rightly hearing Kearney say that is the game awareness and situational awareness of what is needed to be done.
Both these teams with a long history of basketball and a very proud history, like you're saying, and they both know that the names on the front of the jerseys are what's at stake.
You are Coach Carter right now. 2 of 2, Masina. Hurting JEPPE from the free throw line. Russia. Looking for Chuma. Kearney picks it up. Russia. That was a good look. Chuma just couldn't hold on, but that's the right pass. Backcourt, right there.
At this level of the competition, you just cannot have silly mistakes like that.
Russia, 14-6 the score. Russia settles for the jumper. Sekale with the rebound. Tries to set it up. Ndlovu got it tightly by Russia. Now Messina. Kearney challenges well that time. Russia into space, goes left and gets the bucket.
And one.
That really just being born from the pass and awareness by Chuma. Russia extends and draws the foul.
There just didn't seem to be a sense of urgency from Soweto Academy on that possession.
Well, it's the end of the first quarter, and Soweto Academy holding on to a 14-8 lead, and it has been some really great under-19 basketball action, and I'm not sure we can call which way it's going to go just yet, because both teams fighting in the, as they say, it's just the basketball is a game of runs. JEPPE can come back at any stage. Some of those threes start falling, it might be a slightly different game.
It's definitely going to be one that goes down to the wire, it seems, Q. It's who can hold the momentum the longest.
Number 7. 7. 10 is out. 7. Okay. 10, 7, 4.
Yeah, it's fine, James. Whatever you do, James. Intensity.
It's a
The two words that I like that I've heard in the different huddles, one was energy and the other is intensity. If you have that kind of verbs, or those kind of verbs, those are the right kind for the players that are on the floor.
And it's great to see the players recognizing that not having to come externally from the coach, but coming from themselves.
Russia at the free throw line. The timeout was actually called. So this is just 10 seconds left. Kearney from way downtown, he pulls into the hands of Russia's foot inside. And now Mene will try and Mene will fail. But Soweto Academy at large have done an outstanding job.
We've seen that half-court heave go today at this tournament.
I have not seen a half-court heave go at all, but SOWETO Academy sure wish that it did. 14 plays 8 at the end of the first quarter. St. John's College basketball tournament taking place here in Houghton and brought to you proudly by SuperSport School, Standard Bank, as well as Puma Hoops. First quarter of this enthralling under-19 quarterfinal with between SOWETO Academy and JEPPE. First 12, JEPPE trailing by 6, and SOWETO Academy holding on whichever way they can. It's been a battle that we expected. Some adjustments being made now by the relevant coaching staff, and should be 8 more minutes of exciting under-19 basketball.
SOWETO Academy seems to have brought their defense a little bit higher up.
Chuma for JEPPE goes at Ndlovu, and that's well read by Sekale. Sekale attacks straight away, but gotta credit the foot movement of Lebakeng, who's come on for JEPPE, just getting into the way of Sekale at the right time, at the right place. That's just outstanding defense, and JEPPE pick up the board. Guabara fires, and last touch Ndlovu.
This JEPPE offense seems to be a little bit rushed, Q.
Maybe a little bit more speed or haste is what they want on the offensive end. It's all happening here. I can tell you there's a lot happening between the two coaching staffs, and there's a timeout called on the floor.
You can tell, Q, how badly both the teams want this game.
You open up, set a screen, come this way, show up. Let's go.
Let's go, boys.
Strategies of head coach Andile Hlope of JEPPE back taking up the helm, and we'll see if he gets the levels of execution he's looking for from his young troopers. They trail by 6. Meanwhile, SOWETO Academy will continue to focus on intensity and just doing what they're doing. Their defense has been pretty good so far.
They are a high-energy team, Q, and they rely on that energy to get them stops.
We certainly haven't seen any signs of fatigue that we were concerned about after their top 16 game. Baseline inbound now. Rasha for JEPPE. Kearney calls for it, but hands it to Messina. Sekale. Guabara, no choice but to commit the foul. Mene.
JEPPE not doing a great job of slowing the ball down in transition there.
Messina. Sekale. Floats it up, and the rebound picked up by Lebakeng. Kearney gets by. Ball goes up, but I really love the defense.
That was great discipline there.
Great discipline. Chuma. Guabara gets by many this time.
These Soweto Academy players have to be careful. A little bit of chirping going on, answering the ref's back.
A lot of passion on the floor, but at high school level, you know, leave the referees alone. The 5-second call committed, and possession back to Soweto Academy. Now Messina into the zone, finds Sekale. Sekale will float up one more time. Rebound, Kearney. Just got a little bit scoreless as both these teams have intensified the defense.
JEPPE on the one hand clogging up the paint, and Soweto Academy bringing that man a little bit higher and putting pressure on the ball handlers.
Well, this one won't be contested, and Messina adds 2 more to the Academy total. Messina picks off the Russia pass, and now Kearney gets whistled once again.
That should be his 3rd, Q.
I think that is his 3rd foul. And we spoke about it, and you did speak about it. You see the awareness of Messina picking up the Russia pass, gets inside. Kearney comes back and commits the foul. Messina has been okay from the free throw line. We've seen him make both, and we've also seen him have empty trips. Gets 1 of 2 this time.
Splits the pair.
Russia sends it into the backcourt, and this is all a result of Soweto Academy's defense pressure.
Soweto Academy look really good when they're able to play the full court press.
Sekale. Ndlovu steps through. Mafate. I like the floaters in the lane, and 2 to the total. Messina. Mafate for his team. Ndlovu goes right back at the defense. Wow. They are relentless.
And when they are pressing, they're just able to get stops and get great fast break opportunities.
They move their feet. They have a really good understanding of where to be. Now, Mafate able to draw a foul from Lebakeng.
Looks like those JEPPE teams dropped their heads just a little bit.
We have a look quickly at that pass and feed from Messina to Mafate, and no choice but to foul. They sometimes make the extra pass, but the decision making in terms of when to float and when to pass, generally good from Soweto Academy.
And that comes with the experience of having played with each other for a long time.
Empty trip from Mafate has tried to take this lead just a little bit more further away from JEPPE. Russia steps in but steps out. Messina tries to force it up and comes off the foot of Russia. A little bit of a reprieve for JEPPE on that possession.
JEPPE really having trouble with this man press.
They look a bit rattled. Kearney attacking, and a charge gets called. I'm not sure that was it Messina who had position or not, but the referee's interpreting it. We have a look at the replay. Oh, went to ground a little hard. I think the referee got that right. Sekale.
This JEPPE team's just going to have to change their body language in this one. They seem to have dropped their heads and are being a little bit more lethargic.
They might even have to consider switching from the zone that they're currently in. Rebound, Chuma. Kearney. Looking up the floor. Lebakeng and Sekale battle for it, and that last touch, Lebakeng. Now it's Kosanati Messina having a pretty good game. Sekale steps through. Everything but the finish for Sekale. Touched by Messina. Chuma for JEPPE. Bundles through the defense, and a travel call. Went into his Euro step motion, but got caught up. Messina, he's going to get called for the travel as well.
Just a couple of turnovers there. Back-to-back turnovers from each of the teams.
Chuma physical he is and gets the continuation.
I don't know if that wasn't an offensive foul, Q. That arm was quite stretched.
Well, we can have a look again. Can't see because the men are in the way, but the shoulder suggests that he was in a good position to get the defense off him. It gets the foul. The referee made the call. Can't change it now. 2 more to the total. Chance to bring it back within 10 for Chuma Mafate. Rushes it a little bit. Went at 4 defenders. I praised him for some of the decision making. That was not a time that praise is deserved. Kearney steps, and that was certainly a travel. Sekale to Masina. Gets by Russia, but can't get the bucket. And in the scramble, it's going to be Soweto Academy ball.
It's going to be a long afternoon for Soweto Academy if they can't finish at the rim.
Masina. They'll try the long bomb! And 3 more. Kosinati Masina is having an outstanding one for Soweto Academy. Kearney.
We spoke earlier about how he has that in his arsenal. We see the replay of that shot there from Masina.
10 seconds, all that remains. Sekale for Soweto Academy. In the lane, float, there goes! And finishing the half on a high, 26-10. JEPPE boys being blown away right now by the Soweto Academy defense and the way they play their transition offense. That man, Kosinati Masina, had an outstanding first half. So at half time, it's Soweto Academy 26, JEPPE 10.
Dinner time. Not without the farm. Water. Not without safekeeping. Distribution. Not without the wholesaler, the retailer, or the bank that backs them all. Dinner time. Not without business. Standard Bank. It can be.
Halftime at St. John's College, 15th edition of the tournament in the under-19 quarterfinal. Soweto Academy in the ascendancy against JEPPE Boys High. And a good first half of basketball. It was competitive in the first and then a dominant performance in the second. And we have a look at the stats.
Just a quick look at the stats. JEPPE going 3 out of 9 from 2-point range and 2 out of 7 from the 3-point range. Going 0 for 2 from the free throw line, 0%. The shot efficiency, 28% for Soweto Academy and 31% for JEPPE. JEPPE, we talked about that size, coming up big with 4 blocks.
I think one of the things that really stands out is the amount of 2-point shots that Soweto Academy have taken, 28 plays against the 9. And we have to thank iSports Analysis and the analysts for giving us these stats to help us just round out what the game looks like. Low shot efficiency for Soweto Academy, but high shot frequency. So that comes from their ability to rebound the basketball as well as their ability to finish it around the rim. Now, only 9 internal shot attempts for JEPPE tells you a little bit about the way that their offense is running, and also gives us insight into the efficiency of Soweto defense.
And the other thing that really tells the story is the foul count. You know, JEPPE has 10 fouls and Soweto Academy only on 3.
That tells a story in itself. It's an aggression thing, it's an intensity thing, and that's why the halftime score is 26-10 to Soweto Academy. But will they be able to keep up that level of intensity for 2 more quarters? I guess time will tell. JEPPE, if they have a good third quarter, might have a say in that 4th and final quarter. Running time makes it tough, but the Soweto Academy team is motivated. Well, we're just about ready to get this half underway. Soweto Academy basketball, 16-point lead. And we are back at it in this under-19 quarterfinal.
JEPPE comes out and stays in the 2-on-2.
Gotta force different speeds of possessions, but we'll see if this strategy by Coach Lope continues to work. Ball goes into Guabara.
That was a great look inside.
Good work. And Guabara does catch, steps through, and finishes. Sekale goes at Peacock. They whistle 13, which is Lebo King with the foul.
You know, with the 2-on-2 and trying to plug up the paint, you do run the risk of picking up fouls.
Ndlovu, Chuma, the defender. Masina throws it away. Kearney picks up the loose ball, but it's well read by Sekale. They move the ball once again. Sekale up against Kearney. There's a scramble for it. The referees blow the whistle, and there is a holding foul called against Mafate. JEPPE in transition. And that's much better basketball from JEPPE. Guabara, second score, second field goal for him.
That kind of transition is what we typically used to seeing from Soweto Academy.
We really have been. And ball goes into Messina, he spins. Challenged by Kearney. Back into the hands of Ndlovu. Kearney should be quite close to 4th or 5th foul right now. I wonder how much that is going to affect JEPPE and how the rotation happens.
I'm surprised, Q, that Coach Andila had him starting this quarter, considering his foul trouble.
Ndlovu. Ndlovu at the free throw line. I'm pretty sure Kearney is on 4 fouls, so see if Andile Lope keeps him in. And also, Soweto Academy players quite aware of that foul trouble. Lebakeng!
Right down the middle.
3 easy scores. We've seen 3 uncontested shots that we did not see in the first quarter. JEPPE boys back within 11.
Soweto Academy just haven't come out with the same defensive intensity in this quarter.
Messina. The dribble, and it's going to be Chuma whistled for the infringement. Messina again. Feeds Mene in the corner. And Mene called for stepping out of bounds. It's nice to see the pressure reverse on Soweto Academy and how they will respond, or can they respond?
You said it, Q. Basketball is a game of runs. And it's can you weather the storm and come back and go on your own run.
Mafate, foul committed once again. It's Kaba who's come in, and Kaba gets blocked. And then there was a foul called on the ground by the referees to hand Soweto Academy back possession. Sekale. Messina into 2 defenders, and he gets the call from the ref. Ball now travel.
Messina just forcing a little bit on those 2 offensive possessions.
Pressure makes players do slightly different things. JEPPE moving the ball, it's Kearney. lays it up, and then the footwork immaculate by Kearney.
Quite an impressive display there by Kearney, who's playing with multiple fouls.
Kept him on the floor and is justifying his reasons for being out there, and Ndlovu loses it a little bit. That shouldn't even qualify as a shot attempt, but Ngwabara at the defense and a charge. Have a look at this wonderful Kearney move. It's the extension for me and the step through, lengthening of the strides and the layup.
And the awareness of where the defender is, Q.
We're talking about feel for the game. That's someone you can see has a certain feel for the game. Ndlovu. Sekale is going to try the long-range bomb. Chuma on the rebound for JEPPE. Chuma pushes it up. Feed. Kaba blocked. Now it's Mafate by Kearney. And easy too. Gets great awareness. Kaba gets by the first defender, but Sekale comes across to pick up the block, and now there's a steal and an intentional foul, unsportsmanlike foul called. So it means it's going to be 2 shots plus possession for Soweto Academy.
It looks like that block was just what Soweto Academy needed to swing momentum in their favor.
Absolutely right. There are always key moments or crucial moments, and you could feel some momentum shifting towards JEPPE after those 3 transition buckets, and Soweto Academy brought it back just off the energy and intensity of a defensive play. Free throw line now. Kosanati Masina. Little bit of a quiet quarter for him. He hasn't been as energetic or efficient as he's been in the last quarter. Misses both.
Or as dominant as he began the game.
And this, I think, is where the fatigue factor comes in.
I don't know, Q. They seem to still have some legs under them.
Sekale finds Ndlovu, gets it right back. Great basketball.
You can feel the momentum shifting back Soweto Academy's way.
Kearney. Leba King. And that time, the blocking foul called on Ndlovu.
That's a great call from the referee, Q. His body just wasn't positioned correctly to have the charge called.
The referees have balanced the calls here in the second half, and you can have a look again. And just shying away from the contact a little bit, and that's why the blocking foul was called. Kaba. Elbow jumper. Chuma and battles with the Soweto Academy kids, but nothing there for him. Sekale finds Mene. Up! In! Bodied the bigger defender. And if that one play that you can look at in Soweto Academy that speaks to who they are, it's probably this one. Mene is smaller, goes right at the body of Ngwabara and finishes it.
A team that plays with a lot of heart.
33 plays 18. Mene misses the free throw. Ngwabara will try the long-range bomb, and that is how we close out this third quarter. We saw JEPPE try to make inroads into the lead with some really great basketball and transition, but then Soweto Academy defense coming to the fore again, and they share the basketball wonderfully on the offensive end.
It's great to see momentum shift from a defensive play. You know, often we look at the offense and how it shifts the momentum, but that block from Soweto Academy is really what shifted momentum back in their favor.
Soweto Academy 33, JEPPE 18.
This is the simplest thing. They are making a lot of noise here. You get this ball, you go through here. These 2 guys have to make a decision. That's how we scored the layup. Because they are not taught to play basketball in a proper way. They don't stand like this when there's 2 of them. They stand like this. So we enter there. Hey, let me tell you. You guys might have lost this, but I still have hope. And my hope will get us through if you guys come along.
Coach Andile Tlope with a strategy that I think is going to work. And I think what he's talking about is those open layups that we saw early in the third quarter and the ability to split the Soweto Bigs. I want to see how well his team is able to execute that out of this quarter break. But meanwhile, before we start the fourth, it's Soweto Academy 33, JEPPE 18. Kaba for JEPPE. Kearney.
Soweto bringing that defense a little bit higher once again.
Kaba gets by the defense, and that last touch looked like it came off Liba King, and the ball goes right to Soweto Academy. Sekale into the zone at Kearney. They're trying to get him out of there.
So what Coach Andile was talking about earlier, Q, they're just waiting way too low in the post when the ball's coming downhill. They've got to try and stop the ball a little bit earlier and slow the momentum when JEPPE's in transition.
Another foul. Ndlovu. Between Ndlovu, Sekale, and Masina, they do draw so many fouls. I'm pretty sure in terms of tournament play, they must be up there in terms of personal fouls drawn. It's just the way they play the game.
They've got to do a better job of making the free throws, though.
I've got tired of talking about it. But he gets one of two, splits them. 34 plays 18. Kaba pushes the tempo. Can't get it to hand. Liba King can't hold on. Academy push it up. The Euro and left hand layup.
Messina displaying his versatility and footwork there.
Chuma. Kearney is right there on the follow. First JEPPE field goal we've seen for a while. Ndlovu. Sina. In between JEPPE defense, Ndlovu cross to Sekale.
I'm trying to figure out what defense JEPPE is in, Q.
It is something a little interesting. It's still a 2-1-2, I think. Now ball moving. Mene. They're taking their time on each possession. Ndlovu feeds Mene. Masina. To Ndlovu. Draws two. Mafate's shot doesn't go. It was a nice offensive play. Ngwabara gets the defender in there, and that's a very strong layup finish.
If I was the coach, I would have demanded a foul call.
You may have a point. Mene. Now, Soweto Academy pulling the ball out a little bit further out to try and see if they can get JEPPE to stretch their defense before they go on the dribble penetration.
I think Soweto Academy as well is having a little trouble identifying what the defense is of JEPPE.
Kaba feeds Ngwabara. In and out. The ball scramble, and it looked like there was an infringement, but Ngwabara all alone underneath. There's moments. That's one of them. Timeout called. Soweto Academy have done a fantastic job so far in this fourth quarter. 36 plays 22, and there's just a lot happening on the floor for JEPPE boys. We've got, it might be a mountain or a hill too far to climb.
Coach Andile wants to talk it over with his troops.
Because you're the strongest one. There.
Soweto Academy and the JEPPE boys going at it in this quarterfinal. The last game of the day here on the main court. 36 plays 22 as the JEPPE boys trail late into the fourth quarter. all coming from defense. They talk about offense and defense, and you know the cliches and the adages, but defense certainly does win championships, and you've seen it in so many different guises of the game.
It does indeed. That and being able to convert from the charity stripe.
Sekale for Soweto Academy.
JEPPE have now gone into a man defense.
Putting a little bit more pressure on the ball. It's Mene. Messina guarded by Kearney. Messina trying to take advantage of that foul situation. Mene feeds Mafate. Turnover. Chuma. There's a foul called. Kaba is Chuma looking for Lebakeng. Soweto Academy, 4 minutes, all that separates them from advancing further in the tournament. Sekale. Messina taking his time, he settles the offense, he looking at the matchups. Gets by Kearney, and that is going to be the last we're going to see of Blade Kearney. Picks up his 5th foul.
And Messina did a great job of drawing that foul.
Because of Nguni in. Messina gets by him. Glovu in the key for just a little bit too long, 3 seconds to call.
This game being over 10 points means that we're going to stay in running time over the last 2 minutes if this continues.
Sekale. No layups going the way of JEPPE boys right now. Another foul for Lebakeng. Messina looking at his matchup. Messina by the defender. Puts it up. They do not count the bucket. Side ball. Mafate trying to get it into Messina. And they rule that the last touch came off a Soweto Basketball Academy player.
We talked earlier, Q, about how at the high school level in particular, you cannot be answering the refs or chirping back to the refs. And there you see the ref giving Messina a warning.
We like competition, but we also like to see the spirit of the game upheld. Glovu looking. Sends it across, and that's a great awareness for Mafate to pick up a score. Nguni has just come in. Misses the left-hand layup.
It looks like this game may be out of reach for JEPPE now.
Sekale hard to the rim, misses that. We're into the final 2 minutes. It is running time. I think it's a bridge too far. Rocha chased down by Chuma, still nothing. And Globu will pick up the foul. This suits Soweto Academy if they do go to the free throw line, because if they are on the penalty, the clock will continue to run and virtually make this. It is already an improbability. It's done. It's a win for them, and they can start on the bench, getting out the Kool-Aid and the ice, and putting their knees in the ice just to drink. You just shouldn't drink too much sugar, but it's been a very good performance by them. And I know we spoke about tournament favorites, and we've seen the other teams. To me, they are certainly up there. They battle against bigger teams. The one thing that they have on the others is defensive synergy. They move well, they play passing lanes, and they make it difficult.
They definitely have done a great job of being dominant in this tournament this weekend.
Tomorrow will be a completely different day, because the cream of the crop rises to the top, as they say.
We're getting here into the last 30 seconds of this one.
Russia for JEPPE. See if they can finish their tournament on a high note. Ball onto the baseline. Lebakeng for Chuma. Stolen by Messina. He gets by Russia. Slows it down. Lays it up.
Good maturity on that particular play.
The last 5 seconds of this contest as the clock winds down. And Russia pushes the ball into the hands of Chuma, but it's the cheers from the Soweto Basketball Academy as they pick up a big win against JEPPE boys, and they win in an impressive fashion, emphatic fashion, and all coming from dominance on the defensive end.
And we are down to the final 4, Q. Soweto Academy advancing into the semi-finals.
At full time, Soweto Academy 40, JEPPE boys 22. Of the Soweto Basketball Academy. Let's break down the stats, Mr. Ramatoha.
And things to look at in the stats, Q. We talked in the first half about those foul calls. JEPPE finishing the game on 22 fouls, while Soweto Academy only on 8. In terms of free throw percentage, look at that. 21 free throws given to Soweto Academy in this one, and only 2 to JEPPE. Soweto Academy, though, not being very efficient from the free throw line, making only 11 of 21. Not very much three-point shooting in this game. Looked like it was going to start out, when it started out, that it was going to be good, but we only had 3 3-pointers made in this one.
Well, it's always the shot ratio that we got to look at, and 14 or 43, but it's the 43 shot attempts against the 25 that stands out for me. And the dominant performance, definitely in terms of steals, 15 plays 5. And I've got to thank iSports Analysis for the statistics supplied, as well as the analyst. And it's a great way to close out. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this broadcast from St. John's Court here in Houghton, the main court, and we'll be back tomorrow with more basketball action. It's the 15th edition of the tournament, so looking forward to the knockout section of it. It's the Final Four, the big time, baby. We'll see you then.